Hey everybody, Motorpoet 59 here. We talked a little bit about how the ongoing issues with coronavirus, uh, things being shut down, and while some things are opened up to an extent, still, if you want to go to a restaurant, you have to sit outside, and that works okay in Bakersfield if you go to breakfast really early in the morning, but we're in the middle of a heat wave. It's 109 today. It's been like that pretty much all week. It hasn't been under 105 since last Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's not projected to be under 105 for another 6 or 7 days. So, and it doesn't cool off in Bakersfield at night. I went outside about 11 o'clock last night. I went out to let the cat in, and it was still 100 degrees at 11 o'clock last night. It was brutal. So sitting outside, they have big industrial coolers and stuff, and all it does is blow things off your table and make your food cold. And the minute you step outside of that breeze, it's exceedingly warm again, and it's having an effect on me. Mentally and emotionally. I'm pissed off all the time. We've been doing some work to the house. We're pretty much finished with it, but during that whole thing, I noticed that I was mad all the time because I couldn't go do the things that I generally did in the morning. It really has upset my routine, and I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, what about the people that are poor and don't have routines?" It's not my problem. There's nothing I can do about that. It's out of my control. All I know is what is and isn't in my control. And I get sick of arguing with people about those other things. There's nothing I can do about that. I can only do things about my own life. I can only react to things in my own life that I may or may not be able to change. And I can't change the things that are going on without the help of everybody in California just telling Newsom to take a flying leap and a rolling donut. But those things that are going on, and then we've got all the civil unrest. It's not happening here in Bakersfield, thank God. I don't have to worry about my family becoming involved in that, or myself. But it limits the places that we might go see. And but it limits places that we might go visit. A lot of places along the coast are still, and restaurants are still open there. Things are still open, but you're not going to go to Morro Bay and get involved in a big Antifa thing. But you never know. I don't know. It makes wanting to take a trip, because most places that I want to go are either closed down, semi-closed down. A lot of them have restrictions against people who don't live there. I can't go play golf outside of Kern County. It's absolutely ridiculous. And nobody can come out from outside Kern County and play golf here. It's crazy, and it is affecting me. And I'm a pretty strong-willed guy. I don't cave very easily. I don't let things get to me. I mean, I get pissed off and lose my temper and jump up and down and do cartwheels, but I'm over it in a minute. And it takes a lot to get me there, or it usually does. Now I find myself snapping at the smallest things. I'm scatterbrained. I just thinking I was selling an old camera of mine. I had put my new camera that I just paid $500 for in the old case, and I sold it at a yard sale for $9, thinking it was the old camera that I just had no use for anymore. 6 months ago, I'd have never done that. I would have been all on top of everything that I had out there. I would have known exactly what was going on, and I have no one to blame but myself. I'm not blaming that specific issue on what's going on, but my inability to think straight has so much to do with the way things are right now everywhere. I'm not personally afraid of anything happening to me. Like I said, none of that's going on here anyway. But I don't know, you know. I have a whole bunch of daughters. I got 6 daughters, 3 of mine and 3 stepdaughters. And I worry about them. Who knows? These BLM people and these Antifa people are cowards. All of them, every single one of them are cowards and pussies. They're not going to confront me unless there's 50 of them, and that's not going to happen here. But one of them or 2 of them might confront one of my daughters somewhere. And while my oldest daughter is not going to put up with any shit from anybody, the rest of them are all pretty mellow kids, and well, kids are all adults, but they're not scrappers and fighters, and I fear for them. I really do, especially knowing that the government, the municipalities are so afraid of intervening in any racial things that my family may not be protected by the law. So like I said, that stuff's not happening in Bakersfield, and I think that the Kern County Sheriff and the BPD would take a vastly different approach to things than Seattle or Portland. It's a very conservative area. But nonetheless, it's all affecting my mental state. Like I said, I'm a pretty strong-willed guy. What about the people who aren't? What about the people who are being affected by all this in whatever way? Hey, I'm retired. My pension hasn't been affected one bit by this. But what about the people who are struggling? Some of these people are making more with this unemployment stuff than they were when they were working, but most people aren't. It's affecting. You have a two-income family with a big mortgage and a couple of car payments and things that they really didn't struggle with when they were working, and they were making, you know, $4 or $5 grand a month each. You know, and I know that the unemployment is tending to pay a lot. Man, I was on railroad unemployment. We got $1,200 a month. That was our unemployment. I hadn't had to use it since the early 80s, but it hasn't changed in all those years. So I tend to think of things on that level, but all the other things, people work from home. My wife is working from home. We're not at each other's throats, but we are caged essentially. She's here all day. She has no break from this house. She doesn't get to get up in the morning and get all dolled up and go to work like she used to do, then come home and take care of business on the way home, maybe go shopping, do some things. And it's gotten to the point where she gets up in the morning, you know, a half an hour before she has to get on her computer. She doesn't get dressed. She doesn't do anything. She just comes in here and flops in this chair. She doesn't get seen. She works in a call center, and at lunchtime she just goes in and lays down and watches TV, and then when work's over, she's always here. And I never have a moment's peace in here. You can always hear her in here talking, and all the things that are going on. It's a mess. And we have a pretty strong household right now. It's just my wife, myself, and my youngest stepdaughter, her daughter, and we all get along well. There's no friction between us, and it still is having an effect, especially on me, more so on me, and I can't explain that, but I know it's having an effect on them as well. And I just wonder about people who aren't strong-willed. I wonder about family units that aren't as casual as we are and get along well and don't, we're not up in each other's business. And every time if I go to shoot videos or go to do anything, it's not about where are you going, when are you coming back. It's not like that. But I know there are households that is exactly the way it is. And now that they're on top of each other, you know, I really can't believe things haven't blown up yet. I know in some places they have, but the news isn't reporting it. I haven't heard a lot about that in Bakersfield or in Kern County. But there again, I don't watch a whole lot of news. I'm not a passive news watcher. I only look up news events and keep abreast of specific things. And I don't know if divorce rates are going up or if domestic abuse is going up. But I do know that crime's going up. It's going up almost everywhere in America. Crime rates are going up. And one of the reasons, they're letting people out of prison. The crime rates, since they started doing that a couple of weeks ago, have already climbed. And that pisses me off. And I don't like being angry. Anger is a manifestation of fear. So I'm afraid of all these things that could happen, and it's making me mad. I don't know, is it bugging you in those fashions? Everybody's bugged by not being able to go eat, or not being able to go get their haircut or their hair done or their nails done when they want to do it. But is the thing as a whole bothering you? Is it starting to affect your mental state the way it is mine? Is your fuse a little shorter? Do you need to get out like I do, but there's no place to go? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we'll talk to you all later.